What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Preppers Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another stream where I stumble terribly over the words that I use whenever I try to do the introduction to the stream, and this week is no exception. So I've been out of town for a few days, feeling refreshed, feeling mentally invigorated. So what better way to celebrate that than to try to crush my spirits by crafting 3 Guile Scheme programs in 2 hours, which is what we're gonna try to do today. And yes, Peter says in the chat, this went smooth. Yes, thankfully, the stream started because I had a little bit of extra time today to make sure that everything was working before we went into it. So thankfully, the Geeks Gods worked in our favor today and made sure that the stream could start on time. And we're gonna get going with it. And I did wanna start on time because I wanna make sure we have enough time to do the things that I plan to do in the stream today, which we'll talk about in just a second. First of all, let me say hello to the folks who are here so far. On the YouTube side, I see Minas Mazar, Stupa Optimized, Data Monoid, Cleone, hello. And also, those are both YouTube and Twitch. And then on the IRC side, I see Cal 2001, Alternate Ved, Peter, Alejandro, Arnaud, sorry. Yeah, Arnaud. Anyway, Al Tomcat, and Michael, Zach. Almost like I'm a pro YouTuber. Yeah, almost. I'm not professional enough to do things correctly. I have to scramble and try to fix things on the fly because it's not like this is my day job or anything. Hello to Jake. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't even want to try it. All right, so let's see. Let me get into the news. Not much news today because I've been kind of out of the milieu or whatever you want to call it. I've been out of the general scheme of things the last few days. So let me just wait a second. There we go. So I've got a few things on the news agenda today. First is I think it's a good idea for you to check out Andrew Tropin's new RDE monthly newsletter. If you don't know Andrew Tropin, he has a YouTube channel. He's made a lot of videos and streams on Emacs and Geeks as well. And he also is the creator of Geeks Home in Geeks. So if you use Geeks Home, you can say thank you to Andrew Tropin for that. As well as the RDE distribution of Geeks, which is like a configuration distribution on top of base Geeks, which provides basically a full environment, mainly for software development, but I think it does a lot of other things too. Really cool project. He started a mailing list for the RDE project, but a lot of other things in the Guile, Geeks, etc. communities are being mentioned there. This is the first issue. It's a mailing list, so I think you need to go to the RDE monthly page. There's a way to subscribe to this. If you hit subscribe, yeah, it basically gives you a mail to link. It's typical Source Hut stuff. So if you go sign up for that, you'll get a nice little newsletter with some, links to different things about, RDE. I saw NLNet flash by and my mouth said NLNet. The sentient milieu. Okay. Anyway, good thing to follow. Also, an interesting conversation that Andrew kicked up recently on the RDE Discuss mailing list is one about setting up some community infrastructure for people like us who are, like to use self-hosted software, or at least software that gives you control over what you do with your data and with your time. And he would like to set up a server, a community managed server or servers that provide a lot of different functionality. I've thought about doing this kind of thing in the past. I just never really sat down and tried to set it up. But I think it's a good idea, actually, to take a look at this and give your feedback on it. I've given some thoughts on it as well, and suggested a domain name, which Andrew is going to use, which I think is cool, cons.town, which is pretty cool, I think. In fact, he's even turned it into a backronym that is pretty neat also, which I think he called, where did he write that? I saw it somewhere. Is it in this file? Yes, consensus operated network services. So it's consensus based operation, CONS, cons, yes. So we're going with the Lispy schemy spirit here. So yeah, check that out. I think it's going to be a cool project, and definitely the project will need people to jump in and help if you want this kind of thing to come to life. So definitely give that a look. Those links are in the show notes for the stream, which should be linked below. So in System Crafters news, finally, since I guess the first video I did this year was the 5 Reasons to Learn Scheme in 2024 video. That's the only actual video I've done this year, except for next week, which I am going to force myself to make a new video to get back into the rhythm of things. That's going to be about a tag-based task management workflow with org mode. So I've been working a lot on getting my own sort of productivity workflow going in Emacs again. Basically, using org mode and denote for that. But I'm trying to break apart what I'm doing into the constituent pieces so I can explain them separately. So this one would be about how I use org tags to split up all the work that I need to do and make it easier to find the things that I need when I need them. So it will be pretty fun, I think. I'm gonna try some different things with this video. I'll see if I actually go through with what I have in mind, but I want to do a little bit more than what I've been doing with videos in the past. Basically, not increase the production quality, but it's not just going to be me reading to you what's written on the screen. I'll try some different stuff. Maybe, we'll see. All right, so in the chat, Stupa Optimize says, before the stream gets too busy, I'd like to ask you if you've taken a look at the Helix editor briefly. I've started recently looking at it because they've decided to make I don't read the rest of that message because I don't have the Twitch chat pulled up, but I'm guessing what you're referring to is the extensibility language. I've heard that something about Scheme being related to that. So Helix editor Scheme. Plugin system. Switch to a scheme-based config. Is that real? We've settled on a scheme. Oh, Steel, really? Okay. A scheme-based plugin system, not just allowing the user to write plugins for functionality, blah, 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 blah. And what are they? Let's see. Where is Steel? Steel, Scheme, embedded scheme interpreter in Rust. Okay. I feel like I've heard of this before. This is also confusing compared to the Guile Scheme proposal that Christine wrote about a systems programming Lisp. So I kind of don't like the fact that they stole that name a little bit, but that's okay. Whatever. All right, so it sounds like this is a Rust-based scheme interpreter. That's fine. And it sounds like Helix is going to use that as their configuration language. I mean, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I would have to investigate it further. However, when I tried Helix, I mean, it's cool. I wasn't really, super interested. When I tried it, it has some nice sort of interface improvements over, well, I guess NeoVim probably does a lot of the same things now with like overlays, like pop-up windows and stuff. So I don't really know like what the benefit of Helix is over something like NeoVim if you want a console-based editor that has kind of a modern style of UI. And I know that Helix has its own kind of modal input system. Is that right? Let's see. Hey, Kites. Kite says, Helix is more of a Vim than an Emacs. That's right. Not for David Will. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any reason for me to stop using Emacs anytime soon. I mean, I'm curious about playing around with NeoVim a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think I would switch to it. Especially not after I just stopped using evil bindings. All right, let me not spend too much time on this. So anyway, that's something to look into. Definitely, if people are interested in the idea of Helix being configured by Scheme, make a post about that with on the forum, and we'll discuss it there. And then maybe I'll talk about it more later. The Kite says, Neo Vim with Scheme instead of Lua would be great. Yeah, maybe. Hey, Dave. Let's see. Fade says, punning Guile Steal. That's right. That's what Guile Steal is about. And let's see. Peter says, I thought Helix swapped verb and object. Yeah, I think it does that. It's kind of like the meow package for Emacs, if you've tried that. We tried it on the stream last year sometime, but it does switch the verb and object mappings. Not really mappings, but language, you could call it, for the modal editing system. And alternate Ved correctly says that Helix is more like Kakune than Vim. Yes, that's right. I think it's inspired by Kakune, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If there were going to be any like phrases that I've said way too many times on this channel, one would be so. The other would be, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure there are others that you can think of. Okay. So today, one of the things I promised for the participants of the hands-on Guile Scheme for Beginners course, which is going on right now, and for those of you who are in the June iteration, there's a live Q&A meeting this weekend on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. But one thing I promised for the participants of that course is a series of starter projects which demonstrate how to use Guile Scheme for practical application development. And the goal of these starter projects is basically to provide a starting point and inspiration for people in the course to get started with their own projects with what they've learned after they've finished the course. So I kind of want to put together a few cool little example projects that show how to pull in community libraries to do sort of projects that a person might be interested to do. So, you know, for me, let's say I would be interested to write a game. I would be interested to make a web server, not really a server per se, more like a web API, like that can communicate via JSON, the JSON format, let's say, like a normal REST service would. And then also like a UI-based application. There's another one too. I'm going to do a fourth one, which is basically a static blog site using Haunt. But since I've already done that, I've got a good example of that in my own code that I'll start from. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that today. So we'll do the first three, which are a Pong clone using Chickadee by Dave Thompson. May not make a whole lot of progress on it. We'll try. Web API server, which speaks JSON and stores information in a SQLite database, and a GTK UI that serves as a client to the web API server. So basically, we have the server and the client both written in Guile Scheme. And we're going to try to write all three of these inside of the scope of the 2 hours of this stream. I'm going to budget 45 minutes each for each of these. I'm going to set a timer. We'll see if I am able to stop and have something working at the end of the 45 minutes. But since I am a live coder, I've done live coding many times. I enjoy live coding. The time pressure is good for me. I focus. I get things done. At least I try to get things done. So long as Geeks is going to work in our favor, I will get things done. So, yes, Kite says, I'm trying to involve people in Guile's development in the standard library and also language. Yes, I know. I saw that saw your posts about trying to get the JSON library into Guile. I think that's a great idea. I'm also about to start pushing on things in Guile land too. So I think we'll have a lot more activity in Guile pretty soon. So we're probably not going to end up with fully working applications. Some of the things will work. It won't be the full example that I have yet. But we're going to try to get as far as we can in the 45 minutes that I'm going to allot to each one. And I will include the source to all three of these programs in the show notes whenever the stream is finished. But if you are a member of the Hands-on Guile Scheme for Beginners course, you'll see a more polished version of these examples a little bit later, whenever I get everything done and put together. Zach says, so our job is to try and distract David Will. And Alternate Vet says, I think we don't have to. No, you don't have to. I do a good enough job distracting myself all the time. Zororg says, I just caught up with Helix Vim discussion. No more evil full-on Emacs. Yes, I did a stream about that in March, I think. But yes, I'm not using Vim key bindings anymore. Okay, let's get to it. So first of all, I want to get let's see, Guile programs / Pong / main.scm. Okay. So I'm going to get a basic Chickadee application set up. I have not prepared at all. Okay, I've not prepared at all for this. We're going to do this live. So first of all, I'm going to make a manifest file, manifest.scm. Let's see, specifications to manifest, list, Chickadee, Guile, let's say. I think that's probably going to be it. Let me make sure I actually did this right. So compile, geeks shell im manifest.scm. Let's see, Guile v. Let's just see if that works. Guile Chickadee, thank you very much. Let's see, failed to load manifest procedure through key Chickadee unknown package. Thank you to Dave. Guile-Chickadee. Yes, I should get that right. All right, while that's loading up, let's pull up the Guile Chickadee docs. And we'll see what we can get done here. Oh, let's set a timer too. TMR. Use Prot's library for that. Let's see, how many minutes for timer? 45 minutes. Cool. And if we want to take a look at that, TMR, what is it, tabulated view? Yeah, remaining 44 minutes. All right, got to get focused now. Looks like we're good on that. Dave says, I'm going to be sweating the whole time. You and me both, brother. All right, let's go main.scm. So, we don't need to do anything here special. Use modules. Let's go into the docs. View the reference manual. Getting started. So I need a window example. Live coding, cool. We probably want to get that going too. I feel like there was an example application somewhere. So window, I don't really need window manipulation, but probably the game loop. Let's just see. Where is it? Run game, window title. Okay, so this is in which module? I'm guessing this is Chickadee. Let's also start up a geyser REPL here. So use Chickadee. No code for module, is that right? Run game, nope. Hello world shows you the window opens automatically. Yeah, did I miss that somewhere? Was that like, oh, so you basically just start drawing things and it pops up. Interesting, okay. I kind of want a little bit more than that, but let's try it. Raw alpha, Chickadee play. Okay, so we're calling it from the command line. Gotcha. All right. So I guess it starts it up for us. So what if I do that? If I were to go, .8, I don't really care. So let's run mx compile, and this is going to be Chickadee play main.scm. Let's see what happens. I wonder if Wayland is going to crash for us. Okay, cool. So it actually did work. That's good. Excellent. And it's not dying completely, but I think that we're not managing the window size correctly, but that's okay. Start the game loop yourself. The thing I linked does a ladder tree example sprite. Thanks, Dave. So I'm cheating a little bit because the person who wrote this library is here in the chat telling me what to do, but that's okay. Get.dthompson.us. Oh, can I actually just go and scoop that out of the live ridge buffer? Because I'm not actually in the chat. Here we go. Let's just hack my own chat. I would rather have a bit more control, Dave. So that's why I'm going to do it that way. So let's pull up that example. Excellent. I love being able to copy and paste code. Okay, I don't need a sprite right now. So we'll just take all that out. And let's see, draw alpha, draw sprite. Maybe I'll bring that text back in. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so now in this draw, interesting. So is that how it works? There's like an alpha parameter, and that's sort of like the main drawing parameter. Sorry, drawing procedure. That's really interesting. Let me go back then to the game loop window width. Cool. Window. Oh, is it start 640 by 480? Did I not copy those? Or maybe I deleted them? Yeah. Okay. So I don't care about sprites. I'm just going to draw shapes in this example. Okay, cool. There's like a load procedure. I'm just going to return true from that. Yeah, load. Probably can just get rid of that for now. Okay. And window width 640, window height 480. I don't know if this is going to work because of what Wayland will do, or what Sway will do, let's say. So Guile main.scm. Unbound variable sprite, sure, that makes sense. So I want to say draw text. Actually, let's just copy that because I screwed that up. My fingers and my brain are not cooperating today. Excellent. Draw text. Let's see, what library would that be in? This is why you shouldn't do things all yourself. So top, text, fonts. Chickadee graphics text, thank you, Dave. Graphics. Also, I'll get rid of these two. I don't really actually need those. So now we're basically back where we started, right? Boom, okay. And it's not exactly 640 by 480. I think that Sway is just deciding to change the window size to whatever it wants. Interesting. Well, that's not my fault. So let's just keep moving. I think it would be 640 by 480 otherwise. Now, is there a way to change the clear color? Let's go into the game loop. Clear color. Okay, so how do I specify a color? Clear color. What if I go to the docs? Colors. There we go. Stock colors. Cool. And I can just say black, I guess. Black. Does that work? No. I probably need graphics colors. Graphics colors. Graphics color. Cool. Here we go. Chickadee graphics color. There it is. Peter says, strange on i3, it respected the window size without anything else to do. Interesting. Now, why is it not using the clear color? Did I do something wrong there? Clear color. If window, okay, let's see. Window resizable, false. Window full screen, false. Okay. Suppose I could clear it myself, but let's not focus on that, and Dave will probably tell us something about it. So let's get to Guile Scheme record type. How are we doing on time? Not very good, probably. Okay, 37 minutes. So let's go. Surfy 9 records, probably. Surfy 9 records. Yes, that's probably what I want. Dave says bug in the release version. No worries. It is what it is. So we're going to go to... really? That's interesting. So Surfy 9. And we're going to define a record type called paddle. I don't know if I really need to be doing this, if it's like a bad idea. There's like a vec type. I wonder if with this vec I can actually set the parameters of it. Let's go to the REPL. If I go to Geyser Guile REPL, oh, you know what? I screwed that up. What's the best way to do that? Add to load path. Damn, that's going to be really funky. Cal says Guile Chickadee has an info file version of the manual. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Probably won't show up for me because I've got it installed in a Geek shell. Let's just go with this for now. Let's see, what is it? To make paddle, X, Y, paddle, X, paddle, X, paddle, set paddle X, the same thing for Y, paddle Y, set paddle. I probably shouldn't use those though, because I'm not using them in the course, and I don't want to like put new stuff in that I haven't actually covered. So maybe I'll change that in my final my final version. So let's see, can I get the size of the current window? Window, current window, okay. Return a currently active game window. So after the game starts up, I wonder, use vec2, yeah, all right. And where is that? I don't think I need set paddle posts because I could probably just like reach through and set it. Bade says these records feel a little bit like CLOS objects, well, structs. Yeah, I mean, it's very simplistic by comparison. It's already imported in Chickadee Math Vector. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, that makes sense actually. So vec2, we're gonna make a paddle. We're gonna say what the position is. Vec2. I probably need to initialize these somewhere else. So what do I have? Is that the load procedure? There's load, update, draw, quit. Does load get called when the window's already up? Because that could be useful. Set left paddle, make paddle, vec2. Excellent. Current window. Probably don't need to do that. Whoops. Let's close the binding expression. Can't do graphics stuff before then. Yes, makes sense. You need to be able to load images and stuff, create textures. All right, so left paddle, do we have window width, window height? Excellent. So we can say window height. I know I've got this in the wrong place. Window height divided by 2. Now that's not going to be perfect, but we're going to fix it later. I mean, we've got so much time for this, right? We've got so much time to get everything perfect. We're just going to have 2 paddles that just move on the screen and maybe a ball that moves. That's all we're going to get. All right, so in fact, define ball position. So we're going to have a left paddle, right paddle. We're just going to set those as false to start with. There is a better way to do this. I'm not going to bother with it right now. Probably set up a record type for the game state. So set left paddle, make paddle, vec2. Let's just call this 20, and then we'll fix it. Let's just get it working. And that's it for that one now, right? Okay, so set right paddle. The expression for the window height. Oh, yes, thank you, Peter, for catching that window. Yep. I have too many thoughts going at the same time, and I'm also talking, so it works really well for the focus aspect. So, whoops, I don't want that. This needs to be 20. This needs to be 2. Totally jacked that one up, didn't I? And now this is going to be window width, window minus 20, which we'll have to fix. divided by window height, window 2. Totally ugly and terrible, but that's okay. Set ball position. We're gonna have this be a center point position, I think. So this is just gonna be vec2 window width divided by, probably should have just kept those, huh? As bindings instead of just calling the accessors every time. Okay, so that has all of our position stuff baked in. Now if we want to draw things, I know there's shape drawing stuff inside of Chickadee, so let's jump up. Milner says, just turn your thoughts off and focus on talking and streaming. That's basically what I do anyway. Shape. Nope. Rectangles. Probably that's just a type for rectangles. You're not drawing a rectangle. Let's go, let's see, contents, shape, draw, primitives and meshes. That's not exactly what I had in mind. Let's see, shaders. Make primitive. Make mesh. So, oh, okay, up to graphics. I saw vector paths. Okay. Draw filled and stroked paths. Okay, that makes more sense. Vector graphics path. Let's go up here. Chickadee graphics path. All right. Ooh, okay, so this is this kind of thing. Return a new path. This is like SVG, huh? Rectangle, bottom left, width, height. Whose bottom left corner is at bottom left and whose size is defined by width and height. Okay, that's cool. So we can try that. So instead of the hello world text, now we're gonna start drawing some rectangles. So we're gonna call rectangle. Now I may have to do the path thing, right? Do I need to wrap all this in a path? Return a new path that follows commands. It looks like it, right? So let's say path. Might get this totally wrong, but that's okay. And now the bottom left, that's a vector, I would bet. So the paddle position of left paddle, and then we're just gonna say 2100. Okay, this is all I'm gonna do for now for that one. Also, I probably need to set the color. So where can I set the color? Style attributes with style. Okay, that's kind of cool. So we're just using like parameters or something. Gradients with style, stroke, no, not stroke, fill color, let's say, fill color. Fill color is white. All right, and I think that's gonna be it for now. We'll see if I make any huge mistakes with that. It doesn't like the indentation of with style, that's for sure. So we're gonna render one thing for now and see what happens. It will probably crash and burn. That's all right if it does. So compilation, wrong number of arguments in form for paddle position. Okay, I didn't pass the paddle in, I think. Or actually, yeah, this is the wrong thing. Fill rectangle, is there a fill procedure? Fill. Apply a fill drawing style to paths. Interesting. Thanks, Dave. That makes sense. Wrong argument type in position 1. That is main line 31. And procedure draw. Column is 21. Left paddle is not initialized because I forgot to go back and put the load procedure in. So let's do that. Load. Okay, I'm not seeing a rectangle currently. but I wonder if that also has something to do with the issue that Dave mentioned. Because it isn't clear, setting our clear color either. Do I just need to clear it myself? Can I do that? Index, clear, 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 clear. Viewport clear color. Can I set that? I made a path, but it doesn't render like that. Do I have to actually like tell it to do something? Let me get the example that Dave sent me, because otherwise I'm just going to be wasting all of our time. Path SCM. All right, so path. Sorry, fill. Fill rectangle. You need a canvas object that can rasterize a vector and render it. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so this is more than I thought it would be, but that's okay. Draw canvas, canvas. So set canvas, no. Define canvas, cool. Make empty canvas, let's do that. So define canvas, make empty canvas, and I'm guessing that's gonna be in, maybe it's not. It's probably in the path library. So canvas, set canvas painter. Don't know if I need to do that, do I? Draw canvas, canvas. So right in here. Make canvas with, since you aren't animating the vector path, I will be though. I mean, the idea is that I would. I wonder if I should be using sprites instead. Like if I just make my own cheap little sprites. Kind of didn't want to have to do that. Let's see, make canvas. Let me check the docs. Make canvas painter. Are you changing the size? I mean, I'll be moving things. All right, so we have a transformation matrix, empty canvas, blah, 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 blah. Immediate mode API, okay, gotcha, yeah. That would be nice. It's kind of what I was expecting. So maybe this is just meant for like drawing and not for... Translate it with a matrix? Boy, okay. Can I make a texture? Or a sprite? Texture and position. Sprites are simpler thing. Okay, I probably need to do that. So, how about we do that then? I'll go into the GIMP. And I will make a new image. New. Let's say, what do I want this to be? Like 50... 35 by 100. That's probably going to be too small. Actually, I don't like the width of that too much. Let me fill that with white. How much time do I have left here? 22 minutes, okay. We can still salvage this. I'm optimistic. Bucket fill white. Let me thin that out a little bit. So I want to scale the image now to 25 by 100. No, no, no. I don't want to link that. Okay, that's better. Draw us a mushroom. I can't draw you a mushroom. I couldn't draw you a mushroom to save my life. All right, so let's export this. I'm gonna export as, I'm gonna go into David Will, what is it? Guile programs, Pong. Call it paddle.png, all right? Let's make a new one. This is gonna be 25 by 25 because the paddle is 25 wide. Whoa, I don't want that. Back to pixels. All right, 25 by 25. I also want A transparent background color. All right, make a new layer. Okay, and then I want to draw a circle. Can we do this? Actually, I think what I can do is fill and then do a circular selection. If I hold Control, does it, cannot subtract, no. Control, Shift, Alt, there we go. This is a very hacky way to do this, but hey, it is what it is. We'll go to selection, we'll invert that selection and delete the sides. It's feathered a little bit, maybe that's okay. I'm good with that for now. Export as ball.png. It's gonna look a little bit funky because the feathering is not gonna extend to the edges, but whatever. It is what it is. So now we're gonna go back to drawing a sprite. We're gonna stop using the canvas. So I think we need to go to Chickadee, graphics, sprite, Chickadee, graphics, texture. All right. We still need color. I just want to move that up here. Path we'll get rid of, and that's good. So now in load, paddle sprite would be discussion on pickleball. What's the deal with pickleball, man? I don't know anything about that. So make sprite, was that right? Oh, draw sprite. So we need a texture for that. Let's call it paddle texture. And then we're gonna load that image. This is gonna be paddle.png. Define ball texture, load image. Oops, I can't do that here. Ball.png, I just realized that I need to move this stuff into here. So I'm gonna change those two defines to sets. Okay, and then I'm gonna go change these to be just false. All right, so now we got the textures in theory loaded. Let me actually just pull that up. In fact, I need to go and get rid of that and get rid of that. And let's say, well, I'm just gonna draw both the sprites on the screen just to see them. Texture position. So the texture would be the paddle texture and the position is gonna be vec2. Let's just do this. Paddle posts left paddle. Didn't get the copy going there. Okay. We'll do right paddle. All right, we're back in the game now, as it were. So if I were to draw the ball to draw sprite, ball texture, ball position, which actually does not need anything special because it's just a binding. There we go, there's a ball there. It looks pretty good, right? Not too bad. Now, the positions are not perfect, but that's good enough for now. Let's just get some input going. I want to see if I can get the paddles moving around. I can use WS and, well, let's see. Yeah, WS and IK maybe, so that two people can play this game together. Let's look for input index. Probably in the input devices. Key pressed. Okay. So do I have key definitions? Provides hooks for, oh, okay. So run game actually has hooks. Let me find that again. The game loop, input, text input, mouse press, keyboard. Key press, call with 4 arguments when a key is pressed on the keyboard. The key, the modifiers, and the repeat. Key release. All right, so I think we can have a sort of state system for that. All right, so let's just throw some things in for this. Define key press. And key press is called with 4 arguments. It is key modifiers repeat 4 arguments. That only mentions 3. Okay. Is the window the first parameter? Not sure. Display key press. I don't know. And that's key press. Let's just try that. Dave says, I just found several typos in that section. That's okay. Let me check the... Okay, key press, got it. And I wonder if the repeat logic is... Yeah, all right. So I think we need some other things as well. We need direction. Okay, so we got a direction now, set paddle direction. Now what we're gonna do is, so the key, where are the key constants? No repeat on key release? Yeah, okay, thanks. Key constants, let's see, escape. Keyboard, key pressed. Maybe this will tell me? No. So let me actually go to the code because that's the best place to find answers. No comprehensive list. Okay. Go to the tree. Root. Chickadee. Oh, is it Guile SDL2? Okay. All right. So Guile SDL2. Also written by Dave Thompson. Reference manual. Keyboard. SDL2 input keyboard. All right. Don't see it there either. Guile SDL2. And tree. Oh, is that right? Peter says symbols like up, down, space work. Cool. So we want to use a case here on key. If it's up, no, that's wrong. I actually want to use letters, right? So SDL2, input, keyboard, up. There we go. So now I see letters. Just symbols. Okay, so we got symbols. So I need to use SDL2 input keyboard. No, I don't need to do that. I can just use normal symbols, right? Okay, that's probably a good idea. How much time we got left? 12 minutes. Let's go. So W, I'll say display, I don't know, let's just do this. Set paddle direction, left paddle, up. If it's S, set paddle direction, left paddle, down. Same thing for the right paddle. This is going to be I and K. Left pad says, did someone say left pad? Yes, left paddle. Okay, so that should get us in the right place for input for the left and right paddles. I'll delete that. And so key release needs to just, That's gonna be tricky. That's gonna be interesting. Let's try that. So key release. Let's go back to the game loop. Key release. So key and modifiers. I'm gonna do this in a very cheap way, which is not gonna be entirely correct, but that's okay. We'll just live with it for now. So if we're releasing any of these, we're gonna set the direction to false. I'm not gonna bother with anything else. Now we also need an update procedure, which is gonna update the position of these. So update, update. What does update take? Update. Let's take like a time or something. Update hertz. Amount of time that's passed. Okay, gotcha. Since the last frame, cool. That's good. So define update delta. So what we're gonna do here is let left dir is paddle direction left paddle. Right dir paddle direction right paddle. When left dir. I could just do I could probably just do a case on both these, right? So like a case, paddle direction, left paddle. So I don't really need to do anything special here, right? Up, I'm going to set, so paddle position, set, let's see, where's the vector stuff? Vector, no, not that one. Index, vec2, all right. Move by vec2, set vec2 x, y. All right, so we'll do that, set vec2 y. The paddle position of left paddle, this kind of feels like repetitive, but we'll deal with it for now because we don't have much time. So set vec2 y, paddle position. We're gonna set that to I kind of need the position though, don't I? Okay. Ashraz is having some fun in the IRC. So paddle direction, left paddle, up, set vec2 y, left posts. And we're gonna get the vec2 y of left posts. We're gonna add that. Oh, okay. We're not gonna set it here. We also need to do a let star. This is getting dirty, but we're gonna clean it up a little bit. So plus vec2 y. I don't know, that's like per frame, right? So we wanna move. How much do we wanna move? How much per second do we wanna move? So I think that delta is a float, isn't it? Update hertz, single argument, the amount of time that passes the last update in milliseconds. So if it was 1,000 milliseconds, I would want it to have traveled, let's say 5 pixels. So delta divided by 1000. I think that should do it. Let's make sure that that's going to be a float. That's kind of the move amount anyway, right? Let me check the time. 5 minutes. Okay, we're just going to get paddle movement working, it seems. That's okay. Up, this also needs to be negative, so -5. Whoops, -5. Delta is in seconds. Did I say it was milliseconds somewhere? Yeah, update says the amount of time that has passed since the last update in milliseconds. Peter says, I think it will be very slow. Probably so. Yeah, actually, that is extremely slow. So how about, what, 30? This is the best way to find bugs in your documentation, is to watch someone try to use the docs and find all the issues. 30 pixels, we'll multiply that by delta then. Okay, so up and down, gotta close out my parenthesis here. Cool, cool, right there. All right, so left delta, wow, what did I do? There we go. Set vec2 y. That's going to be the left position. And we're going to say the vec2 y. Is there not a function to modify a vector? Probably not. Okay, that's fine. We multiply the 2D vector by x. All right, so vec2 y, left delta. This could definitely be cleaner, but we're gonna just see what it does, right? Also, we need to have, if it's false, what is it, else? 0. Can I try this and just see what happens? Maybe it crashes horribly. Wrong type argument position 1, position vec2 y procedure. Oh, right. So WS, okay, it is moving the opposite direction of what I want. It seems, oh, what is it doing like that? Is it being treated as a key release? Let me check that. Let's see, format T released key. And then I need to change the direction of the delta. Huh. Seems wrong, right? Are we dealing with like a flipped? Okay, there's only one release, so I don't know why it's stepping like that. It seems really slow. But it's working, as you can see. Okay, yeah, I've got some key management issues that need to be worked out. Ah, great, there's an OnlyFans spammer in the Twitch chat. Fantastic, all right. Anyway. So let's do the same thing for right. Let me check the time again. 2 minutes. Okay, we're just gonna get this done. Am I only moving when the key is pressed? No, I'm setting a state that causes it to move whenever it's the button is held. So I'm not sure why it's clicking like that, but that's okay. Let's do the same thing for the right position. This is like the worst expression I've written. It's terrible. I don't like it. Okay, so let's change left to right. Okay. Let's see if the right one moves also. Yeah, okay, so I can move them independently, which is good. Let me change the movement amount too. So I should probably just define a constant for that. So define paddle speed, and that will be 50, let's say. And then I'm going to change all instances of 30 to paddle speed. But also, I don't think this works. So I think if I do minus paddle speed by itself, it will return the negative of that, or the whatever. Yeah. I didn't see that video, right paddle, but I did see the recommendation for that. All right, so it's moving super slowly, and the ball is not going to be moving. So 13 seconds left. That's basically it. Okay, it's not a complete application, but at least it is a starting point. You can see how this would become a Pong game, right? Do we feel like that is, you know, sufficient? Ooh, can you hear that? Is that deafening you as well? Stop it. Oh my God, that was horrible. I apologize to anybody wearing headphones. It also deafened me. Can I turn that off? Sound file? Yeah, it's a piezo beep. Let's clear that out. Set cue timer sound file. I need like an auga sound, right? But for now, let's just get rid of that so that we don't get deafened the second time. Okay, so we've got that one. That's good enough. That's a starting point. I can finish that. Like, I can also finish it and make the code look a lot better. So if you're watching this video embedded in the Guile course, hopefully you're seeing a much better representation of this code right now. Next on the agenda. That's right, Cal, we need a klaxon sound. So web API, main.scm. For this one, all we really need, I have 1 hour left for 2 applications. Do I? What time is it? How did we end up with the wrong amount of time? Did I start late? What happened? That's okay. We'll do what we got to do. I think the second application is going to be much easier, but famous last words. I need 2 things. Let me do a little check here. So there's Guile SQLite. Hey, I had a timer running. It was 45 minutes, like we said, right? I thought that I started on the right time. But I think I did start at the right time. I started 15 minutes in, and I misjudged the amount of time. So 45 times 3 is what? It's wrong. So I'm a professional Emacs user. I'm not a mathematician. So that's why you see bad math here. So we'll give 30 minutes to the second one, maybe, because I think the GTK one may be quite complicated. But we'll see. Cal, which GTK library did you use whenever you were trying things? I know one of them has issues. Maybe both of them have issues, but we'll see. Guile SQLite 3. Okay, there's that one, and also Guile JSON. All right. Cal says it failed horribly. Yeah, somebody told me that. Manifest. Let's get a new manifest here. We're going to go back over to web API, manifest.scm. We're going to paste that in. We're going to pull in SQLite 3. I've never used that library before. Guile JSON. I've used Guile JSON before, so that's not so bad. Right Paddle says, did you visit any doctor recently? You are talking to game elements. Yes, someone is playing around with Nix. And I don't mean Nix the OS. I mean Nix in the IRC chat. So now, timer. New timer. We're going to give this one 30 because we don't have a lot of time. So let's get started. Back in the main for this one, we're going to pull in web. I think it's web server, right? So Guile web server. There's a built-in library for this, which is pretty nice. Let's see. Run server. Here we go. Run server handler. Run server. Define, let's say, main handler. We want to do this. I would like to do this interactively, but I might not be able to. So it would be nice to do this in REPL, but I need to have the REPL add the load path correctly. And to do that, I need to have the profile path, which if I were using buffer_env, do I have buffer_env installed? Can I use that? That would actually be really useful. Let's try that. So if I'm in this folder, run buffer_env update, environment script manifest.scm, execute script, yes. Maybe that'll do the trick. So buffer_env is an Emacs package that can basically launch Geek's shell for you and apply the environment to your Emacs buffers. Hopefully this one will pull in JSON. Excellent, it worked. Okay, good. Now we can do this interactively, which I prefer. Though run server might block. So we might not be able to do this interactively. That's okay though. So, excuse me. Run server handler. Let's just do main handler. I think that's a request. Handler. With the request and body as its arguments. So request and body. Main handler. Can I choose the port? Port. I'm pretty sure that is a keyword parameter. Host port. Okay, so port 8888. Just so I don't clash with anything that might already be running on this machine. So if I were to start executing this stuff, let me pull this in. I will so what was that? Control Alt X, all right. The main handler, let's just format T. Now there's request stuff, HTTP requests, URL, location. No. Let's see. Path. Request. Where is the details on that? Request API? Request URI. All right, so now request URI request. Okay, we've wait, hold on. Wrong number of format arguments. What did I do? Oh, I did the Emacs style format string, which is wrong. Request URI, I need to pull in what? Web request? Okay, cool. So web request. I know I typed that wrong. We'll import both of those. All right, I think we're good on that. Run server. Now, expected a server impl or a symbol for port. What did I do wrong? Let's pull that back. So web server, run server. Oh, okay, is this a list? I feel like that's wrong, right? I see. It's parameters to the HTTP implementation. Gotcha. So we need to pass in HTTP, HRRP, ERP, and then we need a list that has the parameters to the implementation. And I think that's going to hang the session. Did it not? Let's try that. Localhost 8000 or no 8888. I don't actually return anything. Yeah, that's not actually going to work very well. Unfortunate. Doesn't even seem to do anything when I try to run it. So we'll run this the same way as we were doing the other thing too. So compile, Guile main.scm. address already in use, so I must have done it. Let's kill that REPL because it's using the port. It must have worked. All right, so now localhost. Yeah, okay. We didn't get to see the exception. Too few values. Yeah, I didn't return the actual values that are needed as a response. Let me see what I need to do for the response. The handler. So we need values. Response body. There we go. Content type. Cool. So let's do this. Content type. We're going to say application JSON. And here we're going to just do some fake JSON for now. Yeah, there we go. A is 1, 2, 3. Okay. There we go. A is 1, 2, 3. Cool. So we're returning JSON. Now, what if I were to use the JSON library and turn an A list into a JSON object? So in this case, I would want to say something like JSON to, sorry. I need to run geyser again. So run geyser. And we're going to run that, and then we will try to check out what we can do with SX to JSON. No, let's see. Guile JSON. There's definitely a procedure for this. SX list to JSON. Scheme to JSON. All right, cool. So SEM to JSON. Let's say A1, 2, 3. Actually, I don't want to do that. Let's rerun it. Okay. And it crashed. Unexpected body type. So, oh, you know what? I think it's a scheme to JSON string because it wants a port. There it is, right there. All right. I remember that from the last time I dealt with that. Okay, here we go. Now, we have successfully converted a scheme object into JSON using SEM arrow JSON string. Let me check our time. So we got 21 minutes left. Okay, we're doing pretty good. So how do we want to make this work? First of all, we need to accept some things on some paths, which is a very a high quality specification for the functionality that we're looking for here. So crafters, crafter ID. And I think that this would support get, post, get. Let's just say get for now. We're not going to deal with put. Yes, I am paying slight attention to the chat, but I'm just not reading it very closely because I need to get things done. All right, so we're going to look at the handler. First thing I'm going to do is just correctly get the URI path out of there. What am I looking for? Path. All right, so I need URI path. I also probably need web URI, I believe. Web URI, is that real? Okay, that's real. So I'm going to path parts. Yep, so path parts, yeah. String split, yep. And we're gonna split the URI path of request URI of request. We're gonna split that on the slash character. That's the character syntax for slash. And then we're gonna try to match on that. I can't really use match though, because I haven't talked about match in the course. So we're gonna have to do something a little bit more funky. So I can try to match on the, yeah, well, no, I can't use match like I just said. Match would be so nice. String equal car of path parts. Now I need to make sure that if pair path parts, if there's no, well, let's see, what would it be? Let's actually check that out. I'm gonna run string split. The string is gonna be just a slash. I'm gonna split it on a slash. What's that gonna give me? 2 empty strings. Let's check this too then. Slash crafters. I bet that's gonna give me an empty string and a, yeah, okay. So we're always gonna have, unless I do a substring on the path, which seems a little bit risky. Let's just assume there's gonna be a slash at the beginning. I don't know if that's conventional. So path parts, I'm gonna really cheekily say cooter here. And I'm gonna regret that, I'm certain. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And then if pair path parts, then we're gonna look at the car path parts and check to see if it's crafters. Crafters. Yes, that needs to be crafters. Then we need to see if, yeah, this is terrible logic. If cooter path parts, I think I need to do something like this. Handle crafter request body. It's terrible. So this one I can actually do some work with, I think. So if string equals car path parts crafters, then I'm gonna just pass it along here. Let's see, path arg. Not so nice. I'll clean this up for the people in the course. String equals car path parts crafters. I'm gonna call handle crafter request. And I'm gonna pass in cooter. Ooh, it needs to go in here, right? Path parts. And then I also screwed that up. We're gonna say cooter path parts request body, okay? And if there's no pair, then I need to return like a 404. How do I return a 404? Not super important. Code. Ah, build response. Okay. Actually, that needs to go down here somewhere. So there's that if, there's this if, and then the let and the define. Okay. Now, in this procedure, I'll do a similar thing where I'm just going to return something just to get it going. Let's run it again. Haven't even gotten to the SQL yet. That's okay. Too few values returned to continuation. From which one, I wonder? The URI is empty. Let's see, path parts. Let's write that out. Format. A new line, path parts. Okay, parts is an empty list. If pair path parts, if it's not a pair, okay. So if it's not a pair, then I return values, build response code 404, not found. Is that right? Where did I see that? String append. There is a URL module, but it doesn't really help with this, I don't think. I could be wrong about that though. Split and decode URI path. That would be kind of nice. Let's see. Zephyr says it should not be done by hand. Yeah, I agree. Where is the URL library then? Let's go to index, URL, split and, it's not here. Is there a programming index? No. URL, URI, no. This is the concept index. I don't want concept index, I want programming index. I don't know if there's a... Where is it? Let's go into geysers, split and decode URI path. Okay. So what if we do that? Let me just check and see. Foo, bar. Cool. That's better. So no more string split. First of all, we're going to say split and decode URI path. And we're going to just pass it in the URI path from the request. Boom. Get rid of this. Okay. That takes care of that part. All right. Now, fill that. Go back to... This is not going to fix any problem we just had, but okay. Wrong type and argument in position 1. Now, I think I need to change my assumption here. Probably it does not do the silly stuff anymore. So let's, and by silly stuff, I mean returning an empty string as the first item. Okay, unbound variable build response. Cool, that actually makes more sense. Web response. Hey, not found, good. Now, if I were to type in crafter, I get a crash. Too few values return a continuation. Did I do the right thing there? Handle crafter request. Okay. So I didn't actually return. I think I should do that instead. So if pair path parts and let's do that. Yeah, this is terrible. Okay. Sloppy code just to get the job done. Parts, crafter, oh, wait, it's supposed to be crafters. Okay, it's doing the right thing. Now, if I give it something, so pair, it's kind of interesting. Oh, wait, car path parts, no. Wait, sorry. Cooter path parts, it must be an empty list, and that's fine, actually. I can check for that. So now we're in handle crafter request. Let's check the time we have, 10 minutes. SQL database, not so sure. First of all, let's just get something working. So define crafters. If I can just get this working. Thank you, Zephyr. It seems to be already pulled in by one of the other libraries that I have. So I'm gonna just make a little A list here, or a list of A lists. Age 520. What's the best set of things to put in here? I actually have a good thing in the course. Let's see. Chapter 3. I don't actually have that in the... Do I have that as an example? There we go. Let's just take this. I'm just going to steal from myself. Because why not? All right, so what do I have here? A name of notable lispers. So instead of crafters, I can say lispers. How about that? So why am I avoiding pattern matching? Because this is for the Guile course, and I did not cover pattern matching in the Guile course because it's an advanced topic. Crafters, lispers. Okay. And I need to backquote the whole thing. All right. There we go. So we've got an A list here. And if I were to go and implement the crafters, 8 minutes. All right, cool. We're doing okay. Maybe no SQLite, but it's not such a bad thing. All right, so crafter request. I must have not closed that off. There we go. So when pair path arg. Actually, let's do an if. If pair at path arg. And I probably want to do this. I'll pull this in right up here. So if pair path arg, we'll do the same thing for now. JSON string lispers. We'll just do the same for both, and we'll filter that down next. Okay, so now let's redo this. And I'm gonna change this to lispers. And we'll get a little crash. Wrong argument time in position 1. Excuse me. Oh, really? So I have to use a string for all of these. That's gonna suck. That can't be right though, come on. Wrong argument in position 1. Let's see, what is the... Do I have that up still? Oh, it's right there. Document from the given Guile value. Does it take a list? The key of an A list is usually a keyword. It's a list of A lists. Did I screw that up? No, that's right. Oh, is that a sequence? Scheme. What about seek? Seek. Nah, is that text sequence? Sequence. That's a stream. Okay. A given list of native Guile objects. Okay, is that right? So scheme to JSON string. Okay, gotcha. So I think that's what we need to do. Scheme to JSON string sequence, right? I missed what I had just typed in. Scheme to JSON seek string. All right. We'll see if I'm right about this. There we go. Unexpected character at line 1. It's not treating it as a list. Does it need to be a vector? Probably. That's a little bit annoying, but whatever. Make vector, and I'm just going to pass in this list as the list of the vector. Unbalanced parens, that's fine. Just go down to the end. What? Oh. Wrong argument in position 2. So, let me check. Make vector. Make vectors a size. I need to do list to vector. All right, so, and I guess I haven't covered vectors in the course either, but that's okay. I can mention that. All right, another issue here. Wrong argument type name. Why are JSON arrays converted to vectors and JSON objects to A lists? Yeah, array is vector. So I want to, oh, okay. So JSON seek, let's just get that out of there again. We don't need that. We need to do that. Okay. Hopefully this will work this time. There we go. Now we actually do have a legitimate JSON response. That's cool. If I want to refer to them by an ID, though, I'm going to have to inject an ID for all of these. And do I really want to spend my time doing that right now? Let's see. What do I have left? Three minutes. So yeah, if we want to list them or even like create a new one or look at the details for one of them. I mean, maybe this is good enough as a starting point, like just to get the, let's see. Just to get the items coming back from the server and then listing them in the UI. That's not so bad. So we have 2 minutes. What can we do here? I'll get rid of that because I don't need that anymore. If I could just return the individual item, let's just do that. Really quickly, we're just going to invent an ID 1. This is going to be real fun. If I was a smart person, I would do some kind of text macro for this, but I'm not a smart person, and I don't know what I just did. 2. Come on. Up. I don't even know what buttons I'm pressing anymore. 3. You know, also, for this to be correct in terms of it being an A list, I need to do it like this. So that's actually going to be easier for me. I know it looks ridiculous, but that's because we're treating this like an A list, and the first item in the sub list or the const, let's say, is the thing we're going to search by. So let's also do this. Five. Whoa, what did I just do? Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And let's get rid of that. I think here we need to say list to vector. All right, and on this one, let's say seek lispers, let's see, key. All right, so key, I'm gonna need to change the car of the path arg from a string to a number, string to number. And I should be able to look it up like that. So let's restart. Ooh, I also need to rip the number off the front of those objects because they probably won't work correctly. I know the time's up. Let me just test this really quickly. Yeah, that's busted. Expecting pair. I need to map over that list and rip off the front, the first item, which is actually not hard. Map cdr lispers. I think that's enough, right? Functional programming. What other? Get out of here. Okay. There it is. Okay, we got it. And then Lispers, let's say 1. Okay, that didn't work. Wrong type in argument position 1, expecting pair 1. Come on. All right. Jason build. Oh, I need to rip that off too. I think that's what's happening. So when I find it, I need to cutter that. I feel like, yes, that's right. That's right. Okay. We're almost there, people. Almost there. There it is. John McCarthy, Guy Steele, Richard Stallman, if my mouth can cooperate. All right, cool. So, basic web API does not use SQL. That's okay. This is not very good code, but it does do what we set out to do. Now, what we need is a, excuse me, a UI that can use this. So we're going to start a new project, project number 3, GUI client, main to SEM. And this one, I'm not sure exactly which library we're going to use, and I predict this is going to be a total failure, but that's okay. So we had looked at Guile at some point. There's also Guile GI. And I think Guile GI seemed to be the one that was better. Well, I don't need to use an arbitrary equal procedure because a SOAK or a seek ASSQ uses EQ, and you can use EQ with numbers. So I don't really need anything special there. Unless what you're saying is I could search by their name or something. All right. So in this one, we're going to need a manifest file. Let's just copy and paste our previous manifests. We're going to go right here, manifest.scm. We're going to paste this in. Instead of SQLite 3, I'm going to use Guile GI. I believe that's the package, Guile GI. Yep, that's the one. Now, there's a documentation page right here. Is there a, okay, tutorial. I feel like this was not super easy. Sample applications, window with button. All right, so this is a starting point. We're just gonna copy and paste the starting point because, you know, that's what we do in this channel. I don't like that. All right, so now we can just try to run this. Compile. Project, that's not gonna work. Okay, compile. It's gonna kill my server, I think, but that's okay. I'll have to run that one separately. So I could probably go into eat and say web API, geeks shell m manifest.scm, guile main.scm. That will run the server for us. All right. So the program crashed. Cannot register existing type. Maybe let's use Guile instead because we're already off to a bad start. I don't remember what the actual problem was with this one. Zafir says lots and lots of ugly packages. Well, you know, the Guile ecosystem needs some help. Peter says, EAT seems to be the new hotness. What are the advantages over vterm? There's no natively compiled component needed. EAT can do terminal emulation purely in Emacs Lisp, and it does it in a fairly efficient way. All right, so we're going to start over. We're going to use Guile instead because it might be easier to get going with. Manifest right there. Okay, so G golf. Okay, gold. No. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to set my timer too. Now we don't have a whole lot of time. I'm gonna say 30 minutes anyway. Is this a working program? Because I don't see header bar, GTK button. I mean, already this is looking kind of usable. But what's app? Documentation. All right. No. Are you kidding me? Learn. All right, there we go. HTML manual. Entirely on one page, that's fine. Tutorial. No. But is it a working program? No. Hello world. All right. This is gonna be horrifying. And you might say, why did you decide to do this? Because, like, we gotta show some examples of trying to make real programs. And a UI is a pretty obvious choice for that. All right, so GTK is weird stuff because they're trying to do a lot that is very flexible and generic, and it just makes application development more complicated. But Qt does the same thing, I think, so I can't really say that it's any better. Okay, still installing. Let's see what happens. Maybe it will launch. Okay. I mean, it hasn't crashed, but I don't see a window popping up. Is this GTK 2? What am I looking at here? Peter says, both are coming from the same time and inspiration. Okay. Let me think about this for a second. There's got to be a better way to make a UI with Guile. I'm just scanning through the libraries. Yes, let's use Guile XCB and just write raw XCB protocol requests. Sounds great. Yeah, we can make an OpenGL application for this. FFTW is not something, right? Zephyr says, GUIs are not one of Scheme's strong points at the moment. Yeah, I just think it's because there aren't good libraries. I don't know, is the FVWM? No, what is the UI framework that uses? Because there's some UI framework that FVWM uses that might be easier to use, but that would require writing bindings, and we ain't got time for that. I feel like there's some way to write cross-platform applications with this or something else that reminds me of this. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it is libx11, then it's not going to help us too much. CMAX says, does any Lisp have a really solid UI story? I imagine that Common Lisp and Clojure are better off. All right. Well, we have no idea. Migrating, okay, look. Works with GTK 3. Migrating from GTK 3 to GTK 4. Yeah, we don't need that. Am I missing something? Let's see if it can run. Parameter 2 for GTK text buffer, insert pixbuff is not a value type. Are there binding issues here? Like their bindings to G-object introspection are not working correctly? Run app 0, activate app, activate. Who calls activate? Connect. It's kind of nonsense. And not besmirching this library, just GTK in general. Figure says, next try building a web app using HTMX plus Guile. That probably would have been a better choice. What I would have done is just make an XML based front end. You know, the Guile GI actually is better in terms of having sort of dynamic access to everything in GTK, but it is more complicated to use. So this Golf seems like it should be better, but the example that they provide does not work out of the box, it seems. You would think that the window would appear. On activate, it should actually launch that window. We're making the application, and we're making an application window and a button. And I guess we're connecting signals here. We're connecting on the clicked signal of the button, and we're connecting on the activate signal of the app. Show window, set child window button. Yeah, it's just not really a convenient way to make a user interface. I think I ran into the same issue. So what was I doing? There was a stream. Guile GI. Did I not actually include the code in this show notes for this? That's weird. I must have that code somewhere. Geeks installer? No, that's probably a different thing. No. Cal says, I remember reading of some GUI library that only needs some drawing functions on canvas and some user input. And if you attach all those together, it will take care of things for you. So it'll be portable. I feel like I did hear about that. Oh, yes. I don't think that there are direct mode UI frameworks for Guile. What would be cool is if you could use something like Dear Image UI. I don't know how you pronounce that. But that would require compiling a native component, because this is typically something that you build into your source code. So you like pull this header into your C project, and then you call those functions. And it actually is a pretty interesting approach for making user interfaces. But that's way out of scope for an example for a course. It's super cool, though. I have actually experimented with this some with my own scheme, but I haven't done anything with it with Guile. Something to put in Chickadee. That would be pretty cool to have that in Chickadee, I think. Like a UI, embedded UI system. All right, so is this a total failure? Let me see. Guile user interface library. Is there anything else? User interface framework. How old is this? 10 years ago, of course. Of course. Yeah. Not crazy about the way that looks either. Zifir says you're working on your own implementation. I had been, but I've decided to focus my time on Guile instead. But mesh.cc, my defunct project, which I'm desperately trying not to start working on that again, because it's like catnip for the ADHD brain. And I will not come back from that if I start working on that again. So rather just try to help the Guile ecosystem instead. UI, no. User interface. Yeah, let's do a newt-based application, which is basically in curses, right? That's gonna be fun. GTK plus application for configuring gaming mice. Does that one actually... Is it written? Let's see. What is it written in? Probably not written in Guile. It's probably just scriptable in Guile, I would say. So no pointers there. Ashra says, be the framework you want to see in the world. Yeah. Ideally, yes. This is pre-alpha code. You're not kidding, are you? Oh, Guile GNOME? No, that's not right. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere. Qt? No, we're definitely not getting anywhere with Qt either. Guile Qt? No. Okay. Yes, the general idea. I mean, sure. I could do that, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, immediate mode interfaces are pretty interesting, but you have to have code that is pretty efficient to render them in the way that it's meant to be rendered. And you know, garbage collected languages might not be the best choice for that, but it's possible. Fade is saying it would be interesting to have list bindings into the Enlightenment Foundation libraries. That would be pretty cool, because you can make some tasty looking interfaces with those. All right. Let's use Cairo to make a fake application. Yeah, I don't think we really have anything that we can use for this. And I remember there being a conversation recently about the state of user interface libraries not being very good for Guile at the moment. The GTK ones, let's say. Guile OpenAI. Oh yeah, Flat Watson made that one. Okay. So that one probably isn't happening unless I can figure out why they're not working. And how much time do we have left here? 17 minutes. How courageous am I? How courageous am I? Am I courageous enough? Do you believe in me? Do you think I can figure it out? I don't think I believe in me, but we got time, so we might as well try it. So the Guile GI crashed. Guile GI is more complicated to use. Now, what if I were to try to make the current one work? Main, if I try to at least format T, is it working? Let me see what app is. Let's run it again, compile. It's not even printing what I asked it to. I kind of feel like it's hanging after some of this stuff isn't working the way it expects it to. Like there's critical errors here that in theory would prevent it from initializing fully. So if I were to go before app, let's see if that actually does anything. No. So the pure simple fact of initializing this application is not working. And I'm guessing it has something to do with one of these. I don't know if there's any other imports that need to happen. Let's actually take that out and see what happens if I just get rid of that entirely. Okay, so unbound variable GTK application. So this GI import is probably scanning over the GTK library schemas And Zephyr says, just implement a GUI library in 17 minutes. I mean, no. I could implement one in a couple hours, a simple one, but well, no, probably take a little bit longer than that. We're not doing that though. To have a list view that you can scroll, that's not happening. So yes, what I was saying is that I think GI import is just looking at the schemas of the GTK libraries, and it appears to be dynamically generating these classes because it's saying unbound variable GTK application. This is goops, it's like CLOS. The class is not actually loaded at this point. So that means this GI import is needed. Okay, let's get serious here. That is the GI import. GI import. Import by name. Okay, so can I change the versions of things? What if I do that first? And say 3.0? I don't know which one I'm actually looking at currently. Still doing nothing. What about 4.0? I don't have 4.0 installed, I don't think. Yep, okay. Version 4.0 not found. At least that makes sense because I don't have 4.0 installed. Let's just scroll to the top. All right. GI import. Well, I'm the reason why the REPL is not being used, okay? So don't get too worried about the REPL story in Guile because I'm just not using it sometimes. If you have things that are going to block the main execution thread, like let's say starting a UI application potentially, then a REPL is going to be problematic anyway, unless the library is smart and spawns it off in a different thread. There's also ways for me to make the REPL work in another thread myself. It's just, requires extra work. Fade says, does Guile have system threads? Yes, it does. Zephyr says, Guile's REPL is totally fine if you squelch the "we compiled this for you" messages and use readline. Yeah, the compilation messages are pretty bad. We are looking at ggolf right now, Peter, and it's not really going well. Not really going well. And it doesn't really tell us why. The application just hangs. So let's try to load this in the REPL, see what happens. Because Fade wants to see the REPL, that's fine. Okay, so we should have everything loaded up here. Run geyser, there we go, and I should be able to import ggolf. No code for module ggolf. That doesn't sound right. That's okay, Peter. Huh. It's not your fault, Fade. Come on, dude. If I blame anything, I blame myself for coming up with this as a stream topic. Let's see, REPL. It's more fun this way. Watching me fail is part of the fun. So, use ggolf. Golf. I can't type. I think I'm... Is it because... Left pad is now going to accept the blame, which I think is fine because, left pad, you cause us a lot of problems here. So nothing is working. Yeah. Yes, it definitely needs better GUI libraries. Guile is in desperate need of UI libraries. And Faith says this is true of most Lisps. Yeah. This is not working. I don't know if it's a complexity issue with GTK or what, but let's just see. Cross-platform CUI library. Add to quote file. So nothing's working. Yes, that's most of the streams, right? Let's see. Cross-platform GUI libraries that you actually believe in. Raylib has one. So someone in the crafter community was working on a, excuse me, Guile binding for, what's it called? Raylib. And this seems to be a GUI library for Raylib. So in theory, one could use something like this. Does it have a list control, list view? Okay. It's not bad. And it's themable. So I don't know. It just seems like another thing you have to have available. It's almost like you need Tickle accessible from Guile, all right? I haven't actually used Tickle or TK or whatever it is, but that might work. Yeah, it's terrible though. Come on. Is it easier to make C bindings for Rust libs? I don't know. I don't like dealing with Rust, period, because it's just more complex altogether in Geeks. TK and Tickle are one of those things that have been around forever, and they still work, and I've never used it. Yeah, I know, right? TK can look like the system widgets. I thought there was something else. Yeah, there's WX widgets. That's all C++ though, right? Platform independent GUI libraries. Thanks. Wikipedia is not for sale. Who are you going to sell it to? Elon Musk? I would love to see a Wikipedia run by Elon Musk. That would be both scary but hilarious as well. For that hot Audacity look, yeah, WX widgets, that's some good stuff. FLTK, that's the one I was thinking about. FLTK. No, it's not FVWM, has nothing to do with that, but FLTK is the one I was thinking of. Is that C++? Yeah, C++. It could still work. It's much simpler, that's for sure. So FLTK, obviously that's in Geeks. A 3D C++ GUI library? What does that even mean? Guile, FL, nah. FLTK could be interesting. Oh, FLWM, okay. FLWM, not FVWM. That probably shows where my confusion started. All right, well, that's an interesting possibility that someone could look into, is use FLTK and write some Guile bindings to it. I think this also does native looking widgets on the various platforms. I'm looking for like screenshots of things that have been written with this. Yeah, that's not bad, right? Anyway, so I think that the idea of making a GUI-based application is not going to work out, at least not right now. Maybe if someone out there has done some work with Guile G Golf, or Guile GI and could tell me how to successfully make UI applications work with Guile and GTK, which must be possible, then I could probably salvage this idea. But aside from that, I'm not really sure how I would proceed on making a UI app, which, at least for me, I personally have no need for a GUI application that's not a game, because I just use Emacs as an interface to everything else. So, let's say I would probably use web apps. I would write web apps, like a website. So yeah, it's not really a big thing for me, but I think for other people it would be nice to know how to write a GUI app with Guile, because, you know, if you want to use it for real stuff, there needs to be a way to make a user-facing application with it. NEE says, would it take a lot to get GTK4? No, it wouldn't, but I don't really know exactly how that would work. Is there a GTK4 actually in? Yeah, GTK4 is here. Let's see. Am I not already using it? That's not right. Not glib. What is it called? G object introspection. Well, schemas. No, it's not that one, is it? There's something for the GTK schemas, I think. I'm not sure what package that would be. All right. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as the song says, right? I don't remember what the song's about. I just remember the line. So who knows what that's about. Of course, we didn't really get things working very well on either of the two, but I think that it's a good starting point for me to continue to write out the rest of the functionality for those demo applications. And then maybe for the third app, I will go with a web-based UI, unless I can figure out the UI programming aspect. So I'll probably ping a few people and see if I can come to a conclusion on that and get something working. Because I would like to use whatever is in Geeks. I think even in Debian. So Debian packages. I feel like one of these is in there. Search package directories, Guile. Byte structures. Okay, so maybe not actually. G Golf. Nope. Guile GI. Nope, not there either. Okay. All right. I'll have to think about that one. So, let me know in the comments if you thought this was interesting or worthwhile. We might do some more live application development in the future, but we'll do it on something that actually will work, because I will have will have started a project that will be destined for success and not total abject failure. But you know, it was worthwhile to try, and it was fun to try to do it under time constraints, because you know, at least you can really get focused and try to do something. Zafir says, thanks for trying. Yeah, thank you for painfully sitting through here and watching this, because it's not that entertaining. Well, it's entertaining to watch me struggle, I think. And I'm fine with that. I got no problems with people watching me struggle. That's just part of it. Dave says, it shows where the pain points are. Oh yeah, there are definitely some for the UI aspect. I mean, Chickadee, there was just some docs issues, but it worked. Everything worked. And then the web part of things, it all worked too. So I think that we would have made a lot more progress. If I had focused on the web API thing, I think we would have had a database working, and we would have been able to do some persistence of new entries. Cool. Okay, so I'll put the code for all 3 of these into the show notes. Whatever it is that there is, whatever code there is, and you can try to play around with them yourself. I will learn how to speak one of these days. I think the problem is that I'm hungry and the brain is not working. And next week, we'll see what we talk about next week. If you've got ideas for the stream next week, let me know. But usually it's something, whatever I'm working on is what I make a stream on. So I don't know what I'll be working on next week. Aside from a video, I'll make a video next week. Ashra says, didn't the bell ring already? Yeah, that was a different one. That was my food notification. Somebody delivering some delicious food that I'm going to go eat now. Otherwise, I'm going to pass out. So thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention. I hope you all have a great weekend. And until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you.